Rock Painting 101. I'm gonna have a total deja vu on this because I just did this video painting this rock, but my connection was horrible and the replay still looked horrible. You could barely see what I was doing and it glitched in and out a lot of times. So I apologize for that. If you were watching live, the connection was crummy. So I'm doing these like washed out watercolor flowers. There's a lot of people that have been using like watercolor colored pencils to do rocks like this. So I don't own any of those, and I was doing something for a kids craft page that I do content creation for, where we were doing kind of these washed out looking rocks like this, and I thought I could use this technique to create something for you all as well. So if you're joining in right now, let me know, give a thumbs up in the comments, or if my connection is better now, because I like it to be nice and sharp. Hello again, Mary. Does it look better? You were here before, so let me know if the connection is blurry. That stinks. It's horrible to watch in the replay, especially when we're doing art. So again, we're going to do some washed out watercolor flowers. And this technique is really simple for beginners that don't have a lot of experience painting or even drawing for that matter. We're going to put this one right here. I'll put it right there. Amy, I think you were here before too. So let me know, is the connection okay? Leave in the comments if the connection's good. I don't want to do a whole nother video where it's crummy, because I thought maybe when it saved, the replay would be better, but it definitely was not. So I am just using washable markers for this. Washable markers, a little bit of water, and then I also have my micron pens. Now for all you guys that are joining again, I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat myself, but the first video is probably going to go away. So micron pens, they're really nice. We have them on our supply page. They're just below where I have the Poscas that I use a lot. They come in lots of different fine tips. You can spray them right away with sealer. You do not have to put a layer of Mod Podge. The only thing is, I always warn, be careful. The tips will wear down. Use a very light touch with these, and they'll last you a little bit longer. I did seal this one already, like within maybe 10 or 15 minutes of completing it once it was dry, and the colors were already bled like that, but as you can see, the marker didn't bleed or anything. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do something kind of similar to this one because I like how it turned out, but I want to do a pink flower this time. So you just take your washable marker and block out your flower. Oh, this pink is very light. I might get a different pink. That one might be low. Well, here, we'll do this first. So just block out some of your petal shapes like so. I'll just give it a darker edge with another pink. And I've got a second pink that's over here. This one's, I know this one's quite a bit darker. You can give edge to it if you want to. The best thing about this is you can really, really play with them and experiment. I was just doing all of these I did yesterday, minus the one to the left here, because I just did that one on a previous live. Just going to add that on there. We'll give ourselves a stem, and then I'll show you kind of how we're blending these. And a little stem here, maybe a couple little grass blades like so. Now I've got a jar lid here. You can do this over a kitchen sink if you want to, but you are going to have some excess water happening. So you just take, I have a pipette. They're these like plastic pipettes. I use them for crafting with my kids a lot. Works good to kind of give it some direction, kind of point it where you want it, and just really get it saturated and wet, like so. I'm just going to do my stem first, kind of tap it. You can get the excess water off. Then I'll come up and do my petals. And just aim your rock. You can kind of tilt your rock so that it bleeds in the way that you kind of want it to, in the direction you want it. So I want it to kind of go off the edges. Ooh, that second pink was pretty bright, isn't it? You can really get in there. And you can wash it out as much or as little as you want. When you first wash it off, it kind of, I don't know, the first couple times I thought, oh, all my color's gone, but when it dries, a little bit of it will come back and you'll be amazed how much will show up there after the fact. Now, if you've got a darker color, like I want my brown to kind of stay here, I don't want too much of it to go bleeding into my other colors, you can just dab it with a brush and then kind of drip off the extra like so. Now I've just got a coffee filter here that I'm using to collect some of the extra water off. This will help it dry a little faster so that I can continue on with this process with you all without you having to sit here for too long. I was using coffee filters for my kids craft ones. Let's see here. Are the rocks you're using require a base coat? These ones do not. These are like I think they were considered like a beach pebble. They're kind of a smoother rock. They have some variancy in the color, but they're really not that porous. You could play around with this idea on a base coated rock. Like I said, this is kind of one of those you'll have to kind of experiment, I think, a little bit, only because it depends on how much the rock absorbs of your colors and your waters to how it's gonna work. So it works really well on these rocks. I haven't tried it on my more porous rocks yet. If you do, let me know. I kind of just playing this one by ear. If you're joining a little later, I was doing like a watercolor effect to do like a base coat for a kids craft rock that I was creating. And that's how I realized that using these washable markers could create this kind of watercolor effect on a rock. And it's something that I feel is great for beginners because there's no perfect way to have this rock. You don't have a specific expectation of how it needs to look or should look. You just kind of let the paint flow. So once you've got your rock pretty dry, this is pretty dry, you just take your fine tip black and you just slowly sketch the outsides, like kind of give it an outline. And I mean very slowly, very light touch. You can add more once it's in there. So, and you want that sketchy look anyways. And since this rock doesn't have a base coat, I want to be extra careful with my pen not to press really hard because you don't want to ruin your pens. These ones aren't super cheap, but they will last you a while if you take care of them. You treat them like you want them to last. So you can just add in a little bit of kind of cross hatching to give some depth, like so. And then you go in and get your stem here. I did a couple little blades of grass, like so. And it's just that simple. Doesn't that look so pretty? Just a very fun, fast rock to do. I mean, I did this one just live a couple minutes ago, and this one took me, I don't even know how long I've been on. Not very long. So it's a very fun technique to play around with. It might take you a couple tries to get a good rhythm based on what kind of rocks that you have at your disposal. All rocks will probably take the color a little bit different, but like I said before, I did spray. I wasn't sure, and since they were these, washable markers, what would happen, and I sprayed this one and it didn't bleed more than it had already, this was from the effect, and it was just fine. So I hope you give this one a try. Let me know how it goes in the comments. Come back and share pictures. And thanks for everybody that joined back again, for coming back for me. That first one wasn't so great, so I really appreciate it. Christine, does it work with Poscas? I have done like kind of watercoloring with Poscas before. And so, yes, you would probably be able to use fairly the same technique. The only thing is I feel like that paint goes on a bit thicker, so you might have to use a lot more water. And since those pens are a little bit more expensive, I figured this would be a nice substitution you can use. I mean, the washable Crayola markers are, packs of them are 99 cents or so, but you could definitely do this with a Posca marker as well. I just think you'll have to use a lot more water to get that really washed out look that I was going for with these rocks, but definitely play around with them and share your results. below. So thanks everybody that joined in again. I'm going to get out of here for the day. So everybody have a great day. Bye.